Welcome to rural Thailand, where beauty meets bureaucracy and paradise occasionally floods. Some people come here seeking paradise. I came, found paradise, and then discovered it had mosquitoes the size of helicopters. They said rural Thailand would be peaceful. They forgot to mention the roosters start the peace talks at 4 a.m. Rural Thailand, where time stands still, mostly because the Wi-Fi has gone again. You think you are moving to the Garden of Eden until you realise Eden probably had better plumbing. Now, do not get me wrong, I adore Thailand. The people are lovely, the food is delicious, and the sunsets could make a poet weep. However, let us have a little chat about reality, shall we? Because while glossy magazines and travel vloggers will have you believe that life in rural Thailand is one long coconut sipping daydream, the truth, my friends, is a little less postcard perfect. I have lived here long enough to see beyond the orchids and the smiles. I am not here to complain, well, maybe just a little bit, but to enlighten those considering packing up their lives and heading for the simple life in the Thai countryside. Let us pull back the bamboo curtain, shall we? Let us start with infrastructure. Imagine you are in the middle of an online meeting or trying to pay your bills and suddenly, poof, the internet disappears. Not slows down, disappears. It is as if it has gone out for lunch. On top of that, the electricity. Well, it is dependable in the same way the British summer is dependable. You never quite know when it is going to vanish. Then when it rains, oh, it does not rain here, it attacks. Monsoon storms can take out the power, the roads, and occasionally your sense of humour. Moreover, if you need a new part for your washing machine, good luck. It will arrive maybe next week, which in rural Thai terms can mean anything from 3 days to the next harvest season. Then there is the language barrier. Now, I speak a bit of Thai, well, sort of. Enough to order noodles, get directions and accidentally insult someone's grandmother. However, once you venture beyond polite smiles and the odd sabadi mai, communication becomes an Olympic sport. I once asked a shopkeeper if she had salt. Somehow it became a 15-minute pantomime involving sound effects, miming and an elderly neighbour who joined in for moral support. You will quickly learn that tone and context are everything. Say one word wrong and instead of asking for sticky rice you might be asking for a buffalo. Now, let us talk climate, and one not for the faint-hearted. Rural Thailand is not exactly the land of eternal spring. The heat in April can melt your flip-flops to the floor, and during rainy season you will wonder if you accidentally moved into a lake. Then there is the burning season, that magical time of the year when farmers set their fields alight and the air turns into a sort of hazy soup. You will find yourself checking air quality apps more often than you check your messages. Oh, and the mosquitoes. They do not just bite, they, well, maneuver. You can spray, burn coils, wear long sleeves. They will still find that one bit of exposed ankle and go to town. Now, everyone says Thailand's cheap. And yes, some things are, if you're happy living like a local, eating sticky rice and grilled chicken every day. However, the moment you crave a bit of home comfort, say a decent block of cheddar or real coffee beans, you will pay for it as if it were imported gold. Now, when you need a good plumber or an English-speaking dentist, it is possible, but you might have to drive for an hour and pay triple the local rate. So yes, the cost of living can be low, but the cost of convenience is sky high. Now, unless you have a pension, investments or a job that lets you work remotely, earning a living here can be rather tricky. Thailand's work permit laws are tighter than a vacuum sealed package. You cannot just pop over and start teaching English or opening a bar. That is a quick route to a very long chat with immigration. Besides, trust me, it is not a fun conversation. Even remote workers face hurdles, ever-changing visa rules, internet stability, and the constant need to prove your non-residency. The dream of working from a hammock quickly becomes working from the only corner of the house where the Wi-Fi works. Then there is loneliness. In the cities, you may well find plenty of expats to share a beer with, but out here in Isaan, not so much. You might go weeks without hearing English spoken, unless you count the lyrics of a Thai karaoke at full blast. The local community is warm and welcoming, but tight-knit. They have known each other for generations. You are the friendly outsider, forever. Furthermore, if you are someone who craves deep conversation or witty banter, you might find yourself talking to the dog more than you would care to admit. Speaking of dogs and things that move, let us not forget the wildlife. You will meet snakes, scorpions, giant frogs, and an entire cast of insects worthy of a nature documentary. One night I opened my shoe and found a gecko family living rent-free. Another time, the snake decided to take a nap in our kitchen. I have learned to tap my shoes before putting them on and to never, ever reach into dark corners without a torch. So yes, it is paradise, but one that occasionally hisses at you. Healthcare is another big one. If you cut yourself or catch a bug, local clinics can handle it, though expect to play guess the medicine since English labels are rare. However, if you need something serious like surgery or specialist care, you will likely be heading to the nearest big city, which could be hours away. Furthermore, do not assume the ambulance will arrive in 10 minutes. Here, it is sometimes faster to drive yourself or have your neighbour's cousin do it on his motorbike. That is why health insurance for many is not optional here, it is essential. One hospital stay without it can cost more than your flight home. Finally, let's talk transport. Forget sidewalks or pavements, they exist mostly as rumours. You will need your own wheels, usually a motorbike, a scooter and a good dose of courage. Traffic rules? More like traffic suggestions. Expect overtaking on bends, motorcycles carrying entire families, and the occasional buffalo or cow crossing the road. Helmets are technically required, but half the time people wear them on their elbows. Moreover, do not get me started on night driving. Between the potholes, stray dogs and random roadside stalls, it is less leisurely drive and more a real-life video game. Now before you think I'm trying to scare you off, I'm not. Thailand's countryside has a magic which cannot be replaced. The sense of community, the laughter of children, the taste of fresh mango, it is all wonderfully real. Nevertheless, paradise is not perfect. It is not meant to be. Besides, anyone thinking of making this move deserves to know both sides of the story. If you can handle the quirks, laugh at the chaos and adapt without losing your marbles, rural Thailand might just steal your heart. However, do yourself a favour. Try it first. Rent before you buy or build. Learn some Thai. It will save you and everyone else a lot of headaches. Keep an emergency fund. Things break, floods happen, life happens. So, is rural Thailand a tranquil retreat? Yes, but only if your idea of tranquility includes the occasional power cut, a snake in the bathroom, and your neighbour's rooster singing at sunrise, midday, in the afternoons, and occasionally at night. It is not a retreat, it is an adventure. A beautiful, messy, unforgettable adventure that is definitely not for everyone. Nevertheless, if you are still tempted after all that, well, maybe you are the right sort of mad to make it work. On top of that, if you have already done it, tell me your worst paradise gone wrong story in the comments. Go on, misery loves company. If you enjoyed this little reality check, give it a thumbs up. Share it with your I am moving to Thailand friends. And do not forget to subscribe, as more grumpy truths from Isaan are on the way. Goodbye.